Here we go. What's up, everyone? This is our first time to try live. We had some technical difficulties. So anyway, I've had a lot of questions about the rainwater collection system, and I wanted to take some time to talk a bit about it. I've been wanting to make a video on this for a while, but it's just not quite finished yet. As you can see, it doesn't look the nicest. I want to build a fence that goes around it. I want to glue it all up, but I don't know when I'm going to get to it, and it works now. So I thought I'd go ahead and talk a little bit about how I built it, and first I'll talk about why I built it. So the Square Foot Gardening book talks a lot about how plants respond better whenever you water with water that's the same temperature as the soil temperature. So this was my solution to the problem of tap water being too cold. I wanted to have enough of a supply to water my garden area, and I calculated it out, and this was enough to water for 2 weeks. So I may expand it out, but right now I have 550 gallons, and I'll talk a little bit about how I built it. So these IBC totes here, I got off of Craigslist for $75, and you want to make sure that you get some that are food grade. There are a lot of like syrups and things like that coming in these containers. So whenever you get it home, you want to first take this lid off here and wash it out really well. And the way that we washed it out was just by filling it up about a third way with hot water, mixed with a little bit of vinegar and some soap, and then we rolled it all around the yard. Essentially, we took it out of this frame and just spent, I don't know, 30 minutes rolling it over the yard. It was kind of fun. So then we drained it out, and then we washed it, re-rinsed it out several times as well. If you have a power sprayer or something like that, you might use it. And then we covered it in this black plastic to keep the sunlight from getting in and causing algae. So once that was done, we put it back in the container, and yeah, I think that pretty much covers that part. So then the next part was to hook these tanks up to my gutters up here on the house. So I looked into a number of ways of doing it, and I tried a couple different ways, and this is kind of what I landed on. So all this stuff here was either bought off of Craigslist, salvaged, or bought new from Home Depot or Lowe's. This part here is it's not with the rest of the PVC fittings, this downspout here part. It's over with the guttering section over at Home Depot or Lowe's. So that's the only place it was not in just the standard PVC section. And let me talk a little about this part here. So the purpose of this, it's called a first flush system. And what happens is when, let me back up a little bit here. So whenever you have a break between rain periods, you have all this stuff that gathers up on your roof. You have bird poop, and if you have trees around you, have all kind of stuff from the trees. Anyway, you have all this junk that you don't want to be in your rainwater collection system. So what this does is it makes it to where all of that water that comes down when it first rains goes into here first. And that's going to be the water that's the dirtiest because it has all that stuff in it. And once the water collects in here, there's holes drilled in the very bottom down here so that it drains slowly, but it takes a while for it to drain. So the water builds up, and as it does, and as it fills these three chambers, there's a bottle, it's like a 20-ounce soda can bottle, soda bottle that's sitting in this tube, and it floats up. And once it hits this part right here, it seals it off, so that then all the water diverts and flows over that way. Well, I mean, it would flow that way anyway, but it keeps the sediment from coming up. It creates an area between the two zones so that the water that goes into there is relatively clean. We're not drinking out of this water. If I were going to drink out of it, I would do something to sanitize it. There's a lot of videos out on YouTube about some pretty intense sanitation methods. I'll link to those. I'm going to do a blog post about all of this really soon, and I'll break down exactly, what part numbers these are and everything. And there is a special adapter down here I need to mention as well. But I'll come back to that because I'm going to finish talking about this here. So as the water gathers through here, it comes over, it fills into this tank, and then once this tank fills up, it backs up, and then it comes over and connects into this tank. So once the water fills up here, it backs up through here, and then overflows through here. This is not glued up yet, and it's lasted, I built this in July last year, I think, so it's lasted, quite a while. Without falling apart on me, but I do want to go back and glue all this up and make it so that it's more permanent. I don't like how it is right now. So that's how water gets into the tank. I think I covered all those parts. Is there anything I missed, guys? Is there anything I should cover about how water gets into the tank? Yeah, I talked about the overflow there. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how we get water out of the tank. So, sorry, we didn't get in here. So. This adapter here was required for this specific tank. There's three different types of IBC tanks. I think there were three, don't quote me on that one. There are different types of IBC tanks that have different connectors. And this specific tank that I got required this cam adapter here. And I found it on Amazon for about, I think it was $11. So I had to buy two of those. But this allows me to, I'll show how I get water out here. So I just take a watering can here, and I turn this, and then the water comes out there. So that's the purpose of this part running to there. The rest of everything else is what connects it to the other tank, and I'll go over there and show that in a second. But I also have this that I can switch out. So if I ever want to connect a water hose to it, I can take this piece here. Well, you get the idea. So I can take this piece here, switch it out, and now we can connect a water hose right here. And you don't get very much pressure out of here. When it's completely full, I get enough pressure to water a bed, but then it just it dies off at some point. But I have tried putting pumps in between. So I took a swimming pool pump, because I have 3 or 4, because every year it seems like those cheap Intex pools seem to break on you, but then you always have a leftover pump for when you buy another one. So I've tried hooking one of those up in the middle, and that definitely helped with water pressure. But I have an RV water pump that I'm going to try hooking up to here. That's hooked up to a solar panel and a battery, so that it's completely off the grid, and I'm hoping that will power what I hope to have in a full-scale irrigation system through here that's powered off of this. So I have, you know, a computer that kind of controls all that. But so I'll come back to this now, and I talked about how water gets out of there. I'll show how it's connected up here now. And this area is kind of a mess, but come on over here and I'll show you how it's connected here. So right down here, it's just another 2-inch connector to one of those banjos, and that goes over to the other side that connects to that T. And again, I'll write a blog post that details all of this. So I'll provide all the details on exactly, you know, what all the part numbers are and everything else. So I think that's pretty much it about the rainwater collection system. I don't think I missed anything. Were there any questions from anyone or anything? No? Okay, well, that's the rainwater collection system. If you have any questions or if you want to know more about it, go to our website, www.seedtospoon.net. Like I said, I'll have a blog post up about this really soon that details all the different parts and where I got it and how much it was and everything else. So thanks for watching.